Hello, students and colleagues. In these uncertain times, we find ourselves working in novel environments. We are teaching and learning in environments that we are not familiar with. And although some of us have been teaching online, in our world, the proliferation of technology assisted learning environments is rapid and it's unfolding right in front of us. So at UCCS, we have something like 8 or 10 articulations of how technology assisted instruction might unfold in the fall semester. So we are working so hard as a faculty to deliver quality instruction, but I want to take a moment to step back and to present you with some simple tips how you can take control of your own learning experience. Students and faculty have a shared responsibility in teaching and learning. And so here are some things that you can do as a student, perhaps new to the online environment, to help yourself succeed. So the first tip is to read the course. It sounds so simple, but I bet in a blind poll, the vast majority of students don't do this. The benefit you get in working in an online learning management system, whether it's for a hybrid course or an asynchronous online course or a face-to-face course. If your entire course is designed in a learning management system, you have the benefit of seeing it all before it happens. It's kind of like the tenets of proper presentation skills. You say what you're going to say, you say you say it, and then you say what you said. So when you find yourself looking at your brand new course, that is a gift. It is a gift that you should take the time to appreciate. See what will happen to you. What are your instructors doing to you to encourage your learning? The best tip is to just read the course and find out for yourself, then enter it with a mind that has some prior knowledge. Tip number 2. Print the syllabus, for goodness sakes. On the first day of class, most professors and teachers hand you the syllabus. Already printed. That's the one thing that we print for our biology students. All the rest of the weeks, you have to bring your lab yourself. So here, just because we're working through the computer doesn't mean that we have to get rid of paper altogether. I have all of the syllabi I teach from on a corkboard in my office. So I can just casually glance at it on a daily basis so I can be a good instructor and I can reflect on when the upcoming deadlines are and what are the hurdles the students might face. You can do the same exact thing. Maybe you know you're going somewhere in a couple of weeks. Get that syllabus printed and highlight those assignments that you need to talk to your professors about. Tip number 3, show up every day. Now, if you were taking a normal traditional land-based class, it might meet 1, 2, 3 times a week. Maybe more than that if it's a foreign language, but probably not. Another huge benefit to you as a learner in an online environment is that you can show up every day, and so I urge you to do so. My personal goal and practice is to get up between 5 and 6 a.m. every morning, do my chores, let the chickens out, walk the dog, make the coffee, and sit down and come to class before my children wake up because talking to the students is my top priority. But as the day unfolds, more and more things are piled on me, and I know that you can all relate to that. So, show up every day, and if you love yourself, make it be the first thing you do in the day. And showing up can be a 5-minute affair. It does not have to be a 2-hour affair. The way your brain works is that every time you think about something in a novel context, your brain is building neurons. It's building a three-dimensional explanation of that knowledge. So the more you come, the more that knowledge dimensionality becomes more complex, and that makes it easier to recall. Number 4, no excuses allowed. Everyone has excuses. I have a mountain of excuses, but you're never going to hear me say why I can't show up to teach you. okay? And that's not because I'm a more enlightened soul. It's just because I am more professionally practiced, right? If you don't show up to work, you will be fired. And that's how you should feel about your education that you are paying for. There aren't any excuses. This is an investment in you. And so, although there might be hurdles, they are not excuses. They are just things that you're working around to make your life successful. And how are you going to do that? You're going to be proactive. So if you accept the principle that there aren't excuses, there aren't any acceptable excuses, you have to be proactive. You have to look at that syllabus. You have to predict where in the coming months you will have problems. Maybe you have a volleyball tournament. Maybe your sister's getting married. Maybe your kids are getting braces. Think about those things, jot them on the syllabus, and talk to your professors ahead of time to gain some new ways of dealing with the problem. For example, if a student talks to me before a deadline, I always extend the deadline. I request that they try to do the work before the deadline, but I will let them do it afterwards. If they miss the deadline and then ask, I won't let them do it because this is part of being proactive and gaining skills as a professional, as an academic student, as a human being. Number 6. Seek assistance early. So these follow right from each other. When you are proactive, you see those red flags and then you can ask for help early in a way that gives people plenty of time, people being your professors, your teachers, your fellow students, plenty of time to assist you. If you have a question and the deadline is at midnight and it's 5 p.m., you have vastly reduce the number of people who might be able to assist you in your online learning community. If as a professor, if a student asks me a question, like sometimes it's a great question that I want to make a lecture video on, but I can't just drop everything and do that right then. I need at least a day or two to square away quiet time to make that happen. So seek assistance early. And then ask how you can do better and ask to revise. So instructors, professors have different personalities. Some are really robust in their grading comments, others don't say anything at all. They wait for you to ask what you could have done better. And then if you fail to meet the mark, ask if you can resubmit. The worst thing that's going to happen to you is that your teachers, professors are going to say no. But the best thing is they're just going to let you fix it. And a lot of times it's just an omission. People just weren't looking that closely at the rubric, so maybe they forgot some references or they didn't label the graph. These are simple things, but they're standard point deductions. So if you are willing to spend a few more minutes to revise and or you would like to do better and don't know what you did wrong, please ask how you can do better and ask if you can revise. There's no harm in that. Number 8, reflect on that feedback given. So when you are asking for help, have a growth mindset. Don't be dogmatic about what you think and the way you operate. Reflect on what's being said and try to make alterations to improve your learning. And this growth mindset is a big deal in our modern environment or educational environment. But it's really annoying as a professor to spend a lot of time writing grading comments, a lot of times communicating with students only to find that they're not listening. If, for example, I write the same grading comment 2 or 3 times and then the 4th time I write no comment and the student attacks me, I haven't any reason really to work harder for that student because they didn't meet me halfway. They didn't even read what I wrote before. They only started paying attention when they saw their grade suffering. Okay, and how about 9? Find your professional network. So the coolest thing about the online classroom is there are people from all over in the same class. that expands your professional network. You meet other people who are interested in the same things, and they might not be in the same community, but they are in allied communities or regions or fields. And in this way, you build friends who are not in direct competition with you. You know, you're not both vying for the same job in your small town. You are working together to expand your own capacity and the capacity of your colleagues. And this feeds into the whole tenet that social learning facilitates cognitive development. So show respect for your peers, read what they have written, help them answer their questions, and you will gain good karma, good professional karma, and you'll get that same support back. And I will have you know that in my 20 plus years of working my career in Colorado, people move around. It's people don't stay in one job. They stay in the field, but they move around to different communities. They come back around, and I am constantly being reunited with people that I met in grad school. We went our separate ways. We're coming back together on various fronts throughout the years. And finally, number 10, join the learning community. Don't resist it. You could just wait this out, but these COVID times are likely to continue and or repeat themselves with more frequency in the coming years. There's a lot of humans on the planet. It is not surprising to me as an ecologist that we are in these pandemic times. I did not somehow predict that online learning would be a huge solution. That's great for me, and I love that new perspective. And so I'm trying to share it with you. Don't fight the premise. This just might be how we have to operate as we move forward in society. And so all we can do now is join the learning community, appreciate the change for what it is, have a growth mindset, and accept the shared responsibility for learning. And I hope this was helpful.